Hi everyone. Well, it's nearly Christmas 2024, and I thought I'd do some tapping on leading up to Christmas and the conflict between that need to winter. There's a lovely book out called Wintering, and it's about what feels right for me at this time of year, which is the withdrawing, being peaceful, being inward, taking time for yourself, creating that nice, safe, hibernating, cozy cave. And of course, the conflict in this day and age is between that and the busyness of Christmas and the getting ready for Christmas and all the things that you have to do for Christmas. And the last couple of years has been the first time I've not been the one in charge of Christmas. My children have taken it over, which is actually lovely. And it's taken me till this year, really, to stop feeling slightly anxious at this time of year, where I would have had 3 million things on my list of things to do, trying to make Christmas perfect for everybody, trying to make it what I think everybody expects. And actually, a lot of that was my expectations of their expectations rather than their expectations. And that need to make it perfect, make it magical, which I've had ever since my first son was born. And my dad, who loved Christmas and made it very special for everybody, died just before he was born. And I think I decided at that point it was my job to make Christmas just as magical as he would have done for everybody. You could imagine with a 2-month-old baby and a grieving mother trying to make Christmas magical. And it then became my job, my duty, and it became hard work. I felt I had to do everything. I had to help the kids to make their own Christmas cards. I had to make my own Christmas cards, my own Christmas cake, my own Christmas pudding, my own mince pies. Christmas dinner had to be perfect. Needless to say, it never was. And when I look back now, what I actually see is the stories that we have about Christmas, the things that make us smile the most, were the things that went wrong. The year I forgot to do the gravy, so everybody's sitting around with their dinner on the table, no gravy. Doesn't sound much, but it felt like a major thing for me at that time. And the time we put the oven on automatic so it would come on and start to cook the turkey early in the morning, and it switched itself off. So we got to time to take the turkey out to find the turkey was still raw. And we had to change evening meal down to lunchtime and lunchtime meal to evening meal. And it worked okay and everybody was absolutely fine. But the feeling that came with that for me, the panic, I've got it wrong, it's my fault, the guilt, the blame, all the rest of that stuff. And really, it is those things that don't work so perfectly, that make everybody laugh, that become the family stories. I still tell the story of the time my mum made Christmas cake. She did every year. And this year, we were going around saying, who's eating mince? And my mum had actually put mint essence in the Christmas cake rather than vanilla essence, or it might have been almond essence. And we had a mint Christmas cake. And of course, we couldn't buy more stuff to make a new Christmas cake. And it was the best Christmas cake we ever had. People kept coming back for extras. But it's those things that make the difference. And I think for most of us, it's trying to find that balance between the peace of the wintering and the creating of the magical time. And it feels to me it's getting that conflict sorted so that what happens, happens. And it's okay. Because when you feel it's okay, it is okay. It's only when you make something mean something, and make it mean something negative, that it becomes a problem. So I thought we'd do some tapping on that perfectionism, that need to make things right for people, and also for not having the Christmas that you used to have. When I was a child, we had the aunts, the great aunts, the grandparents, the great-grandparents around Christmas Day. It was a huge family business, and we had a lot of fun. But trying to get my family to play Christmas games just doesn't work. It's not their thing. And I felt a failure because they didn't. And as soon as I let go of that need and allowed everybody to be who they are and do what they want to do, then Christmas became fun again. So let's do some tapping. So even though Christmas brings up all sorts of conflicts between having time for myself, doing what nature calls me, to be inward, to be mindful, to take some time out, against the social, spending time together, doing things. And Christmas has always been that sort of time. As it got darker, the nights got longer, people were inside more. And it was a time for stories, for singing, for sharing, but also a time for being and doing the things that make you feel good. And in this day and age, it's sometimes quite hard to get that balance right. And I'm giving myself permission to get some balance this time round. Even though Christmas has so many things attached to it. The need for it to be perfect, the need for it to be right. And sometimes it brings up traumas from childhood or from other times. And I'm choosing to give myself the gift of creating a Christmas that works for me and to find that balance. Time for me, time to spend with other people in a way that works for me. Even though Christmas has seemed like this doing, busy, busy, I'm choosing to step off the hamster wheel. Take a deep breath. And rather than go into the musts, take some time to think what really feels good. What's the best part of Christmas for me? And how can I bring more of that into my life now? And for some of us, it will be having peace and quiet. For some of us, it will be being out there and being social. And I'm giving myself permission to work out what works for me and to allow what works for other people to be okay for them. Taking myself off that need to make things perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. There's humanly perfect and perfectly human. And that's what I am. I'm allowing myself to cut the connections to the past Christmases, to see this as a fresh start. I can keep the good memories and I can decide what I want from this time round. And I'm giving myself permission to do that. To really decide what's important to me. What makes me feel good? Because if I feel good, that's what I spread to everyone else. And that's what I'm choosing to do now. I'm coming off the hamster wheel. I'm allowing myself to create the balance in my life that allows me time for me and time to connect in the perfect balance for me. I'm giving myself permission for Christmas to be good enough. Whatever I do is good enough. Whatever happens is good enough. Whatever the dinner looks like, it's good enough. I'm choosing to make this Christmas easy. I'm choosing to take shortcuts. I'm choosing to love myself enough to make this a good time for me. And then to spread that. Giving myself permission to be me in whatever way that is. Stepping back and focusing on what feels good, because that's what makes Christmas. And I love and accept myself and anyone that I'm connected with. I'm choosing we have a good Christmas. Or holiday if it's not Christmas you're celebrating. And I love and accept us all. So I hope whatever you decide to do or don't do, it all works out perfectly for you, and that you really enjoy just being with it, whatever happens. The things that work, the things that don't work, the things you do, the things you don't do. Just allowing yourself to be okay. And have a lovely holiday, whatever you get up to. I'm just going to spin this round because I want to show you my